All right, so if you're a soccer mom or a helicopter mom, and if you want to make sure your kids are safe when they move to Dallas, or maybe you're in your 20s and you just want to live in a dope apartment community, and you're going to want to check out this video. Because this property has 18 communities, and specifically Village Drey manages 5 of them. We're going to cover the amenities, the gym, the pool, the floor plans, the pricing, incentives, every nook and cranny that makes this property unique. That way you can get an idea on if Village Drey could be a good choice for you. And if it's your first time swinging by the channel, welcome. My name's Lucas. I'm a realtor here in Dallas, and every single day I've got people blowing me up, like you and 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 you, buying houses and renting apartments all throughout the Dallas area. So if you ever have any questions about anything that I cover, feel free to drop me a line. All of my information is below in the description, and I'd be more than happy to help answer any questions that you might have. So without any further ado, let's go check out Village Drey. Kicking things off, I'm gonna go airborne on you, and I just learned how to fly this thing, so wish me luck. But what you're looking here is the heartbeat of the entire operation. Again, the village just in general has 18 different neighborhoods, and just pointing out some of the main sections, you've got Village Drey leasing office here, right off of the main drive. Then you've got a few of the actual apartment buildings for Village Drey. You've got the country club, the gym, and then it's pretty obvious where the pool is. And I will also be walking into each of these sections on foot, so that way you can get a close-up view of what it actually looks like on the inside. The entire video is in chapters, so if you want to see the gym, then I recommend skipping to that chapter, because I'll be covering the hotel, pickleball court, parking. I'll be showing you one of the model units over at Village Drey. We'll also be chatting through pricing and, most importantly, security, as the village has their own police force and constables that patrol this place pretty much 24/7. And we're going to continue the journey on foot unless you make friends at the leasing office and they let you hitch a ride on the golf cart. But if you live in any of the 18 neighborhoods, you can pretty much get here on foot, especially if you decide to live in one of Drey's buildings. In terms of entertainment, there's just way too much to list. Off the top of my head, I think I saw a hair salon, some gift shops, there's a convenience store, and then a massive coffee shop, of which I'm walking through right now, and they call this Buzz and Bustle. And I also remember seeing a sushi spot of what is actually tucked away in the hotel. So if you ever get confused, or if you want to rent out some of the event spaces, for example, all of that can be handled by the dedicated concierge. Gonna walk over to the model unit, and before showing it to you, I'm gonna run some of the fun facts by you, because as I said earlier, there are currently 18 neighborhoods in the village compound in general, and Drey manages 5 of them. And out of all 18, you've got 11,000 residents living in this area, comprised of 7,500 units total. So this is a city within a city, and I'm seeing rent prices anywhere from $1,300 a month in some of the older neighborhoods, all the way up to $5,000 a month for the penthouses at the Village Drey, of which the Village Drey neighborhood is the latest, newest, and most modern building out of all 18 neighborhoods. And you can just sense the quality as you saw me walking through the lobby area. It just smells fresh, they've got bright colors, and the hallways are kept really clean. And as we're walking into the unit, there are over 20 floor plans specifically at Village Drey. And there's typically 2 to 3 units per floor plan, because some of them will have minor variations, like one of them will have a balcony and the other won't. One will have a stand-up shower and a tub, but they're separated, and the other will have a shower tub combo. So just little things like that can vary, which lead to a massive amount of floor plans. And this one can range from $3,200 to $3,700 per month, depending on the time of year. And just some call outs on this one, you got carpet in the bedrooms, tile in the bathrooms, and hardwood floors in the common areas. And this variation does have a balcony, which overlooks the courtyard and pool. And just one call out on the pool. You'll see it towards the end of this chapter when I step out onto the balcony. But this pool is specifically for Drey residents, so it's smaller and more quaint than the larger pool, of which is open to all 7,500 residences. But going back to the bedrooms, your windows will open for fresh air. You've got floor-to-ceiling glass in the living room, then a separate tub in the master bathroom with the dual shower heads. All in all, these are some of the finest finishes out of all 18 neighborhoods in the Village. This basically sets the standard if you decide to live in the Village. Then after this, we'll move over to some of the amenities. As a quick disclaimer, if you're getting any value whatsoever from this video, make sure to do this thing, just like all of these people are doing. And they're doing it for two reasons. The first reason is that every apartment building, apartment complex, property has pros and cons. And people call me because they want the dirt. They want the tea on every building in Dallas or whatever building you're researching. So that way you can have an idea of the cons and to be comfortable with the cons because of this decision that they're going to be living with for the next 12 months. On top of that, I've got relationships with all of the buildings in the Dallas area, and I can help you capture additional incentives and move-in bonuses, which can help make your living situation just a little more affordable, because the buildings in Dallas actually incentivize me to bring new residents through the door. So it's not like you'd be cutting me a check for my services. that's being taken care of by the building. So it's absolutely no sweat to go ahead and reach out. If you do decide to reach out, I promise that I will do absolutely the best that I can for you. And now hovering over the pool, it's technically got two sections with a splash pad type thing in the middle, and then the DJ booth up front, as well as a sandy portion to give a section of it more of a beachy vibe. And I'll show you what it looks like from the ground here in a second. But one thing I wanted to double click on was the level of busyness it can get out here. Mind you, I was out here on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. School just started back up, so it's not exactly popping, but during peak summertime, imagine Vegas pool party. This was actually taken from the Village's Instagram page just to give you an idea of how close you'll be getting to your neighbors. You're definitely not going to see me out here. I'm 32. My hootin' and hollering days are long behind me, and I'd rather go to a real beach. Nothing against the Village, but that's just me. And as I'm walking around, you'll catch a glimpse of the swim up bar. I think if you want a towel when you get here, it's like $5 or $10 for one-time use. You saw the pool tenant on the way in monitoring who's coming and who's going. So obviously, if you're 21 and up, you can get pretty rowdy out here, or you can be like me when I was 19 and you can just pre-game and fly under the radar. And they also have cabanas on the edge that you can rent out if you have a larger party. Next up is the Country Club, and this is right off to the side of the pool. It's 2 levels, and you've got 1 bar on each level. And there's also a restaurant attached to it, along with a huge TV. And I think these guys were just chilling and watching the game. It seemed very quiet in here. So if I needed some time to focus and study and knock out some work, this is where I would most likely retreat. There's just so much seating. And knowing that if I wanted to work in a spot that had more energy, I could just go back to the coffee shop we saw earlier. Moving over to the Sandy Pickle, you can probably imagine what goes down in these parts of the Village. And we're actually now on the back side of the property. And yes, there is also a bar. I think the only spot that didn't have a bar in the Village was the parking garage. So just a little fun fact there. But what's cool about this place is that if you need a quick bite or if you're on the go, you're gonna have your bases covered. I counted 4 pickleball courts out here to the side of the food truck, and it looked like some folks just got done playing and were grabbing a cold sip, watching the game in between rounds. Also over here, you'll see in the next clip are the golf simulators. So to the right of that Sandy Pickle sign you saw me walk past on the way in is another set of doors that leads into more of a nook that has more seating, a pool table, and then the simulators. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're able to order food and drinks here while you're working on your 9-iron. And then lastly, back here you will see a huge putting green. And I'll zoom in on it here in a second, but I think I counted over 15 different holes that you can practice on in case you need to work on your short game. Okay, so saving the best for last. The locals call this a V-Fit, but Lucas calls it the Iron Asylum. And you'll see here in the next 115, maybe 120 seconds why. and I'm going to describe the layout and then I'm going to shut up. You saw me walk by the desk a couple seconds ago. You have to scan in order to get access, just like any big box gym. It's got 2 levels, a basketball court, a fitness lawn in case you want to pump some iron and get some vitamin D, and a pretty awesome locker room. All the strength training and weightlifting stuff is down here on the first level, so think dumbbells, barbells, bumper plates, squat racks, even platforms if you're into Olympic lifts, because you'll be able to do overhead snatch, barbell squats, deadlifts, basically anything that you can think of. And then in a sec, you'll see me walk upstairs, which is where almost all of the cardio equipment is, like rowers, Jacob's ladder. I think I counted like 15 treadmills, obviously bikes, and then they also put a bunch of dumbbells up here in case things get too congested down below. And then across from the cardio section on the second level is the fitness lawn where you can drag a sled or knock out some yoga. And then the cherry on top will be the massive indoor basketball court, of which has a walking path or track, if you will, on the perimeter, elevated above the court. I know I sound kind of excited, but to be frank with you, after seeing everything else the Village had to offer, none of this really surprised me, especially since the property hosts nearly 11,000 residents. I think the developers crushed it, and if you live here and if you even think about buying a gym membership somewhere else, then I think you should be ashamed of yourself. Tried to be as detailed as possible. Again, I couldn't do all 18 communities. Like, my legs are long, but they're not that long. And I tried to give you as much context as possible. So after watching this, you're probably thinking, okay, perfect. I love the Drey. I love the community. I'm ready to move in. Where do I go? Feel free to drop me a line and I'll get you connected with the right people. Maybe you finished watching this video and you're still not sure. You want to know what else is available in the Dallas area. And if that's the case, feel free to check out this playlist. I've done a vlog tour just like this one over some of those popular apartment buildings in the Dallas area, which will be helpful if you're doing some more research. So with that, y'all stay safe, y'all stay out of trouble, and we'll catch you in the next video. Y'all be good.